Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. So, I've just seen something on YouTube that has caught my eye, and I thought I'd give my 10 pence worth, which is Kane Velasquez has received a 5-year prison sentence for shooting his child's rapist. So if anyone doesn't know about this story, Kane Velasquez is a UFC heavyweight, a former UFC heavyweight champion, absolute legend, heavyweight legend in the UFC. Trains with Khabib, Daniel Cormier. He's a former heavyweight champion, and his young daughter was going to like a daycare or school or something like that, and there was a guy in there who was looking after his daughter, was looking after these kids, and he graped, inappropriately touched Kane Velasquez's young daughter. I mean, I'm guessing she's about 8, 9, 10-year-old. So obviously Kane Velasquez was absolutely furious and ended up chasing this man down on a busy motorway and let loose. Started shooting at the car that this rapist was in, and end up shooting someone. I think it was his dad or his uncle. The guy who raped Kane Velasquez's daughter was driving away in a car, and in the back seat was his dad. The rapist's dad was in the back seat, and he let loose on a busy motorway, just started shooting in public, and he end up shooting a guy who wasn't involved in it. Who was sat in the back seat of this rapist's car, and Kane Velasquez got arrested for it and ended up going to prison for it. I think he did about 8 months in jail. Ended up getting out on bail, and it's been hanging over him for a while now. And Kane Velasquez has just received a 5-year sentence. He has just received a 5-year sentence. I think it was yesterday he got the jail. But I do believe if he never openly fired in public, if he'd have got this guy on his own, because there's video evidence of this guy raping his daughter, so I'm led to believe. Excuse me. I think if he had never shot at the car and hit someone who wasn't involved in this situation, I don't think he'd have got prison. There was a guy in America before that had caught his child's rapist and killed him and got off with it. There's been a few cases where they've, people have beat rapists up and killed their child's rapist up and killed their child's rapist and got off with the sentence, got off with the charge. I do believe Kane Velasquez, the reason why Kane Velasquez got jail is because he's openly fired on a busy motorway in public during the day in broad daylight and hit someone else. He's struck someone else with a bullet. He didn't even get the guy who touched his daughter. Do you know what I mean? Which pisses me off. So Kane Velasquez has received a 5-year sentence, but he's already done 8 months in jail, 7 or 8 months in jail. So that time's going to come off. So I think he'll do just over a year. Due to good behaviour, due to being an outstanding citizen and stuff like that. I don't think he's going to do a lot of time. 5 years does sound bad, but it's not really. I think it's a good result for Kane Velasquez because he could have got a lot longer. For shooting someone who's actually innocent. Not actually catching the grape, but shooting in broad daylight. I think it's a good result for him. I really do. I wish he never got jail. I wish he never got jail, and I wish he'd caught the rapist. But it turns out he's got 5 years. The other thing that really annoys me, that really pisses me off, is the guy who actually raped Kane Velasquez's daughter has actually escaped a jail sentence. I don't know what he got, but he's been charged with something, but he never got jail time. And this is what's wrong with the system now. Even in the UK now and in America, and stuff like that. Like, you've got people who are committing crime now for posting stuff on social media. Rolling trolleys and shouting at the police or whatever's going on, and they're getting 2 and 3 and 4 years in jail, then you're getting guys and people out there now that are getting caught with, you know, indecent pictures of children and you know, committing crimes against children, rape and you know, paedophilia and stuff like that, and they're not getting jail. They're getting a slap on the wrists. You know, the system is absolutely broken. You know, it's not get. I think if you've got pictures if you've got indecent pictures of children, if you're that way inclined, you need locking up for the rest of your life. You know, no child deserves to be hurt in any way, shape or form. But if you've got that type of mind frame, you need to be put away for a very, very long time. You know, yeah. I'm going to leave it there, guys. God bless.